If you're even thinking about visiting Japan, do it. Japan has taught me more in 3 trips than I learned in 23 years growing up in the States. And I'm not talking about school lessons, I'm talking about wisdom, appreciation, and mindfulness. Growing up in a middle-class family, I didn't travel much at all. Only just like locally, and that's about it. This lack of experience made me endlessly curious about what life looked like beyond my small town. So when I finally saved enough money, I booked a ticket to Japan to find out for myself. After a 14-hour flight, and yep, getting sick on the plane, I landed in Tokyo. Walking through Shinjuku for the first time, I felt a strange kind of relief. Not because I'd finally arrived, but because I realized how small my problems back home really were. Seeing thousands of people crossing the streets of Shibuya made me realize everyone has their own struggles, and mine are just a tiny piece of something much bigger. So if life ever feels overwhelming, try stepping outside your bubble. Go somewhere new, even if it's just a different park or city nearby. Perspective changes everything. Japan has mastered the art of craftsmanship, from pottery and calligraphy to the way buildings are preserved with care. Where I'm from, we don't see much of that anymore. Tradition often gets replaced with convenience, but in Japan, people take pride in the smallest details. It made me realize how much meaning there is in things made by hand. Like this mug I bought at an antique shop near my house. It's pretty simple, but I think the fact that I know for a fact that somebody handmade this and they have their name written on the bottom, it just makes me appreciate it a little bit more every time I make my morning coffee. What do you guys think? Pretty sick, huh? It's the little things like when you buy something that you know is handmade, like you think back to that every time you pick it up. And honestly, you take care of it more. Some of the other glass mugs that I have that I bought from Walmart, I honestly could care less if somebody walked in my house and took that thing and threw it off the wall as fast as they could, because I can literally just go buy another one. But this specific mug, I couldn't just go find this exact mug somewhere else because it was made by a certain person at a certain shop, and you just can't replicate that. If we all put just a little more effort and care into what we make and pay more attention to the things others create, we might start appreciating life more deeply. You don't have to fly to Japan to find that feeling. Just look for the handmade, the intentional, the things that have a story. If you've watched this far, you probably get it. Japan isn't just a place that you visit and, oh, it's done, I went there. Like my brother went to Mexico. Like everyone goes to Mexico and everyone goes to Florida. If you go to Japan, it's like, okay, that's a big trip for most people that live in America. When I told people, oh yeah, I'm going on a trip, they're like, oh, where? Japan? And they're like, wow, that's far. And they didn't really know anything about it, but I knew everything about it, so that's all that matters. Japan is a place that changes how you see certain things, but that's not it. There's one last thing that hit me the hardest. I've always loved nature, the birds, the wind, the calm, but I think growing up around it made me take it for granted. It wasn't until Japan that I learned how powerful nature can truly be. Even in Tokyo, a city of millions, there's always a quiet garden tucked between skyscrapers. One minute you're surrounded by noise and neon lights, and the next you're standing in complete stillness. Spending time in those places reminded me to slow down, breathe, and just be present. Sometimes peace isn't found in escaping the city. It's found in noticing the calm that already exists inside it. As I move through life, I try to hold on to these lessons: wisdom, appreciation, and mindfulness. It took visiting Japan to realize how important they are. There was this one guy that was going around interviewing older people, and he would ask them, what is your biggest regret in life? And like, if you could go back in time and be young again, what would you do? And it's funny because I would say 90% of them, if not all of them, said 2 things. They said worked less and traveled more. Do you think that's a coincidence? Because honestly, I don't. Traveling even once forces you to grow, to see differently, and to think bigger. But staying in one place too long can quietly drain your curiosity until it disappears. Don't let that happen. Take the trip, explore somewhere new. You might just find a version of yourself you never knew existed, or even a place that starts to feel like home. Honestly, thank you guys so much for watching. If Japan has been on your mind like it has been on mine every single day since the first time I left, I hope this is your sign to finally make it happen and just take that trip. Take the time off from work and worry about the consequences after, because if you're not gonna die and you're not gonna be homeless, then how much of a risk is it really? And if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to check out my last video where I talked about the first time that I met my wife and our journey over the past 3 years in a long distance relationship. Let me know what you think. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Ja ne.